Hey everybody, Pastor Kurt, Lost Sheep Ministries, and it's a beautiful Thursday afternoon, early evening out here in the beautiful tall woods and in our little sanctuary. We just love it out here. We're so thankful that God has provided this area for us. One of these days I'll show you the area around us, what Fran has done with our little niche of this woods. Tonight, I think I want to talk about sacrifice and love. And I'm going to go to a very, very popular verse, but I'm going to try to do it in a little way that may be a little different than what you've heard before. I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe it is. Maybe this is just me rambling on, as I've been told I do at times. But what we're going to do is we're going to use John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, so that we may not perish but have everlasting life. Wow, what a just those words. I mean, God so loved the world that he would sacrifice what he had. He sacrificed his Son for us. And what do? You know, we kind of turn our back on God. We're sinful people. And you know, it just really amazes me that there is that much love coming from God, that he made a way for us. He made a way for us to come to him. We're sinful people. Since Adam and Eve, we're sinful, and the penalty for sin is death. So you know, to be able to get close to God, there had to be a sacrifice. And God knew the only sacrifice was God in the flesh, was Jesus Christ. And by doing that, he sacrificed everything for us. He went up on that cross. The cross is not something for us. It's something to draw us to God. Okay? When we come to the cross, we're coming to God. If you want to look at it in a really different way, the cross symbolizes God. The backstop of it, the long piece, the vertical side of the cross is God standing up against the back of the world. Again, his back is up against the back. Okay, and then the arms of the cross, the horizontal sides of it, are God's arms. And when we come into him, he wraps us in those arms, and that is the most amazing thing.
Like we do a hurt child.
Yeah, like you would do to a hurt child, as you hear in the background every once in a while. You hear my beautiful bride talking, because she's got to remind me sometimes that you know what I'm not actually saying sometimes. But to put it in a different way, it's like when you get okay. We'll go back even further. For your first love, when you had that puppy love, and you know, you were so smitten with that person, you sacrificed everything for that person. You sacrificed your time, your money, everything, your homework, whatever. You sacrificed everything to make that person happy and feel loved. Now that doesn't mean that they felt the same way. Maybe that's the way we do with God. God never, ever does not love us. Now we, on the other hand, don't always show our love for God.
Amen.
Because of the way that we act or we respond to certain things.
Or we forget.
Boy, we do forget. But you know, it's like, and then another example would be when we get married. And, you know, we do these vows, you know, for better, for worse, sickness and health and all that. But do we really mean it? Or do we always keep doing it even when times are hard? You know, there's a lot of times. Now look, I'm as guilty as everybody else. I've been married 3 times. So, and I know that I'm not the perfect person, and I never will be, but I know that I'm loved.
Yeah.
Especially now. I've got a loving wife that sacrifices for me all the time. And, you know, there's nothing better than that. And that's the way I feel with God. God sacrificed for me so that I could be there in His arms. He loves me. He loves me unconditionally.
Amen.
You know, there's an old song that says, God, even when God knew me, even though God knows me, He still loves me.
Amen.
And what that means is that He knows that we're not perfect, but He's not going to stop loving us. It's just like we are with our kids. Our kids do wrong, you know, we still love them, but there's things that we have to do. We sacrifice for them. Even if they turn their back on us, we'll never stop loving them.
Amen.
We'll never stop praying for them. And I guess that's the biggest thing that I want to talk about today is that
Sacrifice
means love. You know, when we sacrifice ourselves, our time, our money, whatever it is that you're sacrificing for other people. It doesn't matter if you know that person, but it's a sacrifice. It's a sacrifice to give somebody a sandwich when they don't have any. It might be your last 2 pieces of bread, but you just sacrifice those 2 pieces of bread with that piece of ham in it for that person because they didn't have anything.
Yeah.
And you know, we have to
that.
remember that there's people out there that are a lot worse off than we are.
Amen.
And like I said, we're talking about things that are happening today because of the situation that this world is in. We have to show more love, more sacrifice from us,
And more
from us, followers of Christ. That we have to show the world that, you know, there is nothing more that can be done except for sacrifice and love. If you show your sacrifice through love, that's even better.
Amen.
You know, and I think that's all that we as followers of Christ should be doing. When you show love, you're sacrificing your emotions, your everything that you've got inside of you. And I don't ever want to see anything else but that. You know, we have to humble ourselves. Humility and sacrifice and love, compassion, encouragement, they're all part of it. That's all part of that love. That's all part of what God's got for us as well.
And we have to do it for the people we don't want to do it
Exactly. Do it for your enemies. Jesus says, you know, love your enemies.
Amen.
Not just because it's easy to love your friends.
Yep.
It's easy to love those that love you. It's
Yep.
easy to show love to those that show
Preach.
love. But when you show love to that enemy, to that person that doesn't care about you, to that person that doesn't even believe in God, when you show them love and you show that sacrifice you're doing for them, then you're showing everything that's the epitome of being like Jesus.
Amen.
You know, we have to show that we're more like Jesus than anything else. There's been things being said about Franklin Graham, about in New York City. You know, I'm not going to get into the politics of it, but there's a person in New York City, a councilman, that really does not care for Franklin Graham. Franklin Graham set up Samaritan's Purse, put up
A
hospital out in Central Park. Well, now that the virus is kind of slipping away, you know, dropping down, they don't need as many hospital beds. This guy wants him out of there, and it's just because of his thinking. You know, he thinks that Franklin Graham's not a good person,
And that
so,
he hates
and that he hates people, and that's so far from the truth. But we have to show those kind of people what love truly is. We're going through a lot of things in this country right now. There's a lot of bad people out there. There's a lot of the evil out there. And I'm going to tell you that it's not going to get better
Probably gonna get worse.
unless we start standing up for it. Okay? We have to show the love, but we have to show it through the sacrifice, through the encouragement.
Stand up for what God's love says.
Stand up for what is good for God, what God makes good. We have to stand up for it too. Now, like I said, I'm not going to get into politics tonight. That's a whole different message, and I will get into politics. Well, not really politics, but the rights and wrongs of what we got going on. And but I just want you to continue to love one another. I want you to encourage one another. Call your family members. If you've got a father out there, call him. If you've got a son out there, call him. Talk to your brothers and your sisters and everything else. But I'm just being a little sarcastic right now, but that's just me. I think that you all know that by now. But if, like I said, if you all need us, we're here for you. We're never going to stop loving each and every one of you. We don't want you to stop loving us, even if you hate us to the max. I don't care. Love me. I love. So encourage one another. Pray for one another. Talk to one another. Show compassion for one another, and show your sacrifices through everything that you do. So anyway, look us up on YouTube. We're at Lost Sheep Ministries, South Carolina. Pastor Kurt Johnson. We need your subscription. Subscribe, so that we can start building this ministry back up.
Amen.
We've been down and out for a while because of this coronavirus, but we're not out. We might have been down, but we're not out.
Amen.
So anyway, I'm praying for you all. Get a hold of us, talk to us, and thank you very much for listening to me ramble on. As I always say, this is Pastor Kurt Johnson. See ya.